Hey everyone. On August 16, 2022, President Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act. This law will help many green energy companies ramp up production. It's aimed to increase production of green energy in the US. The Inflation Reduction Act's $370 billion in investments will lower energy costs for families and small businesses. One of the stocks that I think could benefit from this package is Plug Power stock. The company is a green hydrogen producer, and I think it's one that stands to gain. And here is some review, some question and answers from management and Wall Street analysts that gives some insight as to how the company can benefit from this new legislation. So, Andrew Percoco from Morgan Stanley asked a question around the IRA, which is the Inflation Reduction Act, and some of the Treasury interpretations around matching and the deliverability. Now, this is referring to some of the qualifications that companies have to meet in order to qualify for the incentives in this program. And the analyst is asking, do you still think you'll qualify for the full $3 per kilogram? And the CEO of Plug Power, Andrew Marsh, responds by saying, I've spent a lot of time, especially in the last 2 months in Washington, D.C., talking to folks in the administration. And remember, the primary purpose of the IRA is jobs, climate, and national security. The European Renewable Energy Directive, that certainly has had a great deal of influence on those in DC. So there was a similar package passed in Europe, and people in Washington followed some of the guidelines in that package. And if you interpret that, you can see that it's very, very favorable, the CEO says, to the approach that Plug thinks is important. So that's great news for Plug Power stock investors that the CEO is optimistic in saying that the approach that Washington D.C. is taking is very, very favorable to the way that Plug Power is thinking, right? The plans that they have in place, the strategies, and all of their competitive advantages fits very nicely, according to the CEO, to the way DC is thinking. He goes on to say, Plug supports generating more renewables. Plug supports generating electrolyzers, and I believe from my discussions, that's in line with what the administration will do. So, huge positive here for Plug Power stock investors. That has yet to come to fruition. These guidelines and investments that Washington, D.C. is rolling out, the money still hasn't started to go out in large numbers just yet, right? The law was passed. They're still trying to figure out what qualifies, getting more specific in terms of what the government is looking for energy companies to do in terms of renewables and how much of it has to be produced in the US, for instance, and all of those specifics and details around how to qualify for the money. So it's going to take some time, but the good news for Plug Power stock investors is that so far it looks like it's matching up to what Plug Power is trying to do. So that's good news. That's something to keep an eye out for as a potential boost to Plug Power stock in the very near term. All right, but that's all I've got for this short video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you again soon. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.